like 4 years in Belmarsh maximum security prison. He's a journalist.
Free Julian Assange!
I love the little coat they put on. Puppy! It's going to happen. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Julian Assange.
Yes! Free Julian Assange! Yeah.
Free up Julian! Hey, good afternoon everybody!
There we are.
Anybody out there believe in justice?
Yeah!
Human rights?
Yeah!
Anyone out there believe that politicians and bureaucrats ought to be able to throw people in prison without trial, without charge or with public trial? 13 years the Americans have had to provide evidence of Assange doing anything wrong, and they've failed to do it, and now they want to extradite him to America, almost certainly to put him in a situation where he's forced to confess or they won't let him out. How do you like that? That's an Australian citizen being put in a kangaroo court in America, and our government is doing nothing to extricate him from that outrageous situation. I ask you, why is an Australian citizen subjected to US laws? He's an Australian citizen. And in my view, they have no right to try and pluck him out of prison in England and put him in a prison in the United States, at least without tabling credible information about some wrongdoing. But they haven't done that for 13 years. This is about censorship, silencing dissent, crucifying whistleblowers that expose crimes of public officials. This is what human rights are all about, is to protect us from public officials that get ahead of themselves, that may be bribed, that may be corrupt. This is what the system is supposed to protect us from. This is why nearly every country in the world signed the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, I think it was. Every country in the world signed an agreement that these rights are inalienable, they're crucial for humanity. And these rights have been put down the toilet. They've been shredded. Are we going to let them just keep taking away rights, throwing people in prison because they don't like their opinions? This is the sort of stuff that happens in the worst dictatorships. We have to stand up for Australian citizens being wrongfully treated by public officials, and that's why we're here. We want the public to know the responsibility for extricating Assange from a British prison right now is down there in Canberra. I don't know if you voted for them or you're going to vote for them again, but I hope you'll think very carefully before you do.
Good to see you all here on a lovely day. Over 20 degrees in winter. We love it here in Sydney, don't we? What a beautiful country we've got. Speaking of which, I'd like to acknowledge, pay my respects to the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the original inhabitants and custodians of this fine land. Pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're here today on Friday evening at the Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gathering. There has been some talk about this idea that we're going to have some kind of Disinformation Act. I want to make a few points about how upset I get about disinformation generally, or lack of information. And what I'm talking about is the way that with radio and TV especially, once upon a time we had state news on the radio and a really good base of state news. Now it just seems to have all been, dumped into a silo, and it's whatever comes out of the silo that is the most interesting to certain editors that gets published. Let me give you an example. I mean, first of all, I will say Julian Assange wants us to have all the information we should have, and I certainly believe that. But let me give you a bit of an example. If you go onto Twitter and you type in the word reporter and you follow all the reporters and you then put them into lists based on USA, Canada, England, blah, 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 you will see that there is this massive amount of state information for the different states, like, New York, Maryland, wherever, various specific parts of London and so on. But in Australia, our state news has gone down the gurgler as far as I'm concerned, because it's all been just dumped into a massive news silo, and what comes out the bottom of that news silo is just this ridiculous national news, and we need much more variety. So the Disinformation Act is going to make it worse. So when you say you want to change the media so certain things can't be said, we've already changed it so much with this blasted news silo that wants to focus on national news only. You want to make it worse. You want to make the news silo worse. You want to have, less stuff put through the silo now.
Before I do this, I just want to say, all the young people that are around, the younger generation, me included, we're the future. And we can't get hypnotized by these people that are trying to lead us in the wrong direction, trying to divide us, because at the end of the day, we're all human. And, the colour of our blood, it's red. No matter where you're from, no matter nothing. But yeah, I got a little rap on some real shit. Don't mind the swearing though. I don't fuck with my generation. They be acting weird, so I'm separated. You don't need a fucking school to be educated. Suits a tie and a whole lot of devil faces. What the fuck should I care about getting famous? Invading countries and killing kids like there's terror, ain't it? Just stay 10 toes, but watch the steps you're taking. You're a man of God, but only listen to what the devil's saying. So what the fuck is that? Corruption all around, but you're only gonna put it on a Russian flag. Yeah, they rule, but fuck kids and they fuck their fam. Shit's going down, but I know where the fuck I stand. What are you though? What the fuck you gonna do, bro? When you can't get no food, clothes, Spotify tunes, hoes, new shit, shoes, bro, shit's real and it's one decision, it's you, bro. Whoa. That's me, free Julian Assange, What is real will prosper, the truth will always prevail,
One of the reporters was still alive and crawling around, and a man who was taking his kids to school came along in a little minivan and attempted to save, and then they opened fire, and that was a real war crime, really, because it was an unarmed, clearly an unarmed, injured man. What you might have.
Free Julian Assange. We can all do it. If we unite to free Julian Assange, we can make this happen, people. Every one of you can help. We can all work together. We can tell the government who's supposed to represent us to free Julian Assange. Let the politicians hear us. The people have the power. Or so they say. So let's show them that we have the power to free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. The people have the power. Every one of us. We're supposed to live in a democracy. What does democracy mean? That means people having the power. So, why are our politicians not listening to us?
Because it's a totalitarian state already.
Exactly. We all know. But the only way we'll be able to persuade them is when they know that we have the power to free Julian Assange. It's up to all of us to work together, united, to stop this injustice. We're supposed to live in a democracy. Are the politicians listening? No. It's shameful. What's Albanese doing? What's he doing?
Oh, that's on here, is it? Right, okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Why isn't he demanding to free an Australian citizen who's locked up in another country?
Thanks, man.
What's he doing? Nothing. He's been silent. So it's up to us to wake him up, to wake up the politicians, the Labor Party, the government. How long's he been in jail? Over 4 years in jail. Enough's enough. Let's have some compassion. Okay? Just do what you can. Sign the petition, free Assange. Come over, get some more information, and we can do something. Get him out of jail. It's a shame. It's a tragedy. He's rotting away in a high security jail. For what? What reason? Because he dared to tell the truth. It's supposed to be freedom of speech. That's a joke. It really is a joke. So I just implore you, I beseech you to do your bit, to sign the petition. 750,000 people around the world have signed it already. 750,000 people. So let's make it 1 million. See if we can get 1 million signatures. Come on, Sydney. We need 1 million signatures. We've got 750,000 people have signed the petition to free Assange. Let's make it 1 million. But what can I do? What can I do? We can't do anything alone, but if we're united, if we all sign the petition, we might be able to get him released. They cannot ignore if half of Australia wants Assange released. They can't ignore that. So we've got to keep working and fighting, building the numbers. Get more people on site. Tell your family. Tell your friends. Tell your people at work about this great injustice. Pass on the news, because that could be any one of us. So we are all Julian Assange.
Welcome to the 192nd week of Julian Assange Sydney Town Hall gatherings. Our unity around freeing Julian Assange is the key to ending corruption. Greater transparency through the style of journalism developed by Julian has the potential to defeat corruption. That is why Julian has been treated so harshly by corrupt power. Our unity will free Julian. The arbitrary detention of Julian has gone on long enough for just about everyone to now realise he is being held as a political prisoner for the benefit of the corrupt power that controls our governments, the media, and the judiciary. The good news is that the people of the world are beginning to wake up, and it is vital that they do. We must all wake up to what is going on in the world today. It is inevitable that we will all eventually fully realise that it is in our best interests to do something to put an end to the corruption that has taken hold of humanity. We must resist the systems that encourage corruption of democracy. If we resist, we may be punished by the forces of corruption. But if we don't, we are certain to face tyranny, the tyranny of a dystopian one world government in which human life will cease to have meaning for any of us. The corporate controlled media instill fear in people about various things, including climate change, overpopulation, disease, terrorism, war, refugees, alien invasions, etc. The media have developed ways that have convinced many of us of their authority, but invariably fail to provide evidence for the claims that they make. With fear in the community established, all levels of government are proceeding with the introduction of measures that violate democracy, justice, and human rights. The corporate-controlled media assist by demonising scientists, doctors, journalists, and other voices of truth who challenge the wisdom of government actions. Powerful entities have always craved greater control over the general population, but recent events demonstrate there is a worldwide move towards totalitarian control. Many of us can cite occasions where our systems of democracy are failing us. The imprisonment of Julian Assange for publishing evidence of government wrongdoing shows us our right to know the truth is being violated. A lack of truth means a lack of democracy. The persecution of Julian Assange for publishing the criminal activity of our governments around the world is a corruption of democracy. There is one man who stands at the forefront in the fight to defeat the corruption of democracy, and that man is Julian Assange, and his organisation is WikiLeaks. To defeat the corruption of democracy, we need to come together to free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Thank you.
Government will give them fear.
The guy with the camera.
Free Julian.
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
Free Assange. He's innocent. Julian Assange is innocent.
We are all Assange.